Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this tutorial I'll be teaching you how to make this sweater on my Addi knitting machine, but you can also be using your Sentro circular knitting machine as well for this tutorial. Okay, I'll be teaching you how to make the sleeves and how to make the ribbing and everything, and the ribbing on the bottom as well. You can be a beginner, you don't need to know how to make manual knitting as well. All you need to have is the circular knitting needles. So let's dive into it. To make this project, that's what we'll be making today. I designed this sweater inspired on a Pinterest image. And I had this idea of joining panels, and you guys know I love to use different techniques. So today we'll be doing just knitting instead of crochet. I normally do crochet. And to do that, we're gonna be using a small circular needle, 4mm one, 80 centimeters if I'm not wrong. I'm gonna use this one for the panels, okay? So this is a 4.5mm. The reason why I'm using this size for both is because I want this to be a bit stretchy and smaller stitches than the machine. The machine is kind of correspond to like a 5.5, 6mm needles on the knitting needles. You need a needle and a few markers to mark your sleeves, to seam the sleeves with the body of your sweater. Okay, if you want to make other sizes and you want this PDF file on your patterns book, you can purchase that on the description below. I'm gonna leave a link for you guys, and it's available on my Etsy shop as well. And there in this pattern I make a table of each of one of my patterns with all the sizes, and as well the number of stitches for sleeves, the number of stitches for the body, and the number of rows to each one of them. So you don't need to calculate yourself, and I charge a really fair price for them, so you can help me out buying more yarn for my next patterns. Okay guys, so let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is 2 of these tubes that I'm going to use for the sleeves. Okay, I'm making a size medium, and again, purchase the pattern if you want any other size, because it's all calculated there already for you with sizes and lengths and all the measurements as well. Okay, so I'm making 2 tubes with 80 rows each on my Addi 46, so they have 46 stitches, okay? And then after this, what I'm going to do is don't cut the yarn, just use a little bit of waste yarn to remove from your machine. And then because this one's very little, I tried to remove with this one from the machine, and it didn't work very well because it wasn't long enough to reach all the stitches. So this is a 25 centimeters circular needle. I bought this one because it makes the perfect sleeve, but if you don't have much experience with knitting, you can probably purchase the 40 centimeters one, because this is very little and might be a bit hard to work if you don't have knitting experience. But the ribbing I'm gonna show to you guys right now, it's very easy, okay? So I'm gonna start to put all the stitches in this needle this way. So go around through all the little stitches. Then right after this we are going to make the first row just knitted row, okay? Now that I have all the stitches in these little needles, all you do is just pull the waste yarn and you're ready to start working. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna decrease a few stitches, and you're gonna see that's very easy because I want this ribbing to be a bit smaller than the width of my sleeve. So I'm going to decrease 8 stitches. So whatever you have, whatever number of stitches you have, you will be making like 46 by 8, and then you see how many stitches you have to make before you decrease the next one. So I want to finish with, I have 46, I want 38 when I finish, okay? I'll be only knitting, and here place a marker here as well, so you know where the beginning of the row is, in a place where it doesn't get on the way. So there you know where you're starting this row, and then you can make 5 knitted stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th one, we'll be making them 2 together. So I'm grabbing 2 loops here this way. And then now I'm going to make 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll be making 2 together again until I count 8, okay? 8 decreased stitches. So now I'm making 5 again, and that way going all the way to the making all this row decreasing stitches. 2. So repeat that and decrease until you have 8 stitches less, okay? Yeah, make sure you have a pair number of stitches, because to make the ribbing we need the pair number. So to start working your ribbing now, I'm going to knit that first one, and then I'm going to pull the second one. I'm gonna make very slow for you guys. Knit and pull. So pull, you put the yarn on the front, and knit, the yarn stays on the back there. Okay, we're gonna repeat this row a few times. I think I made 30 rows here because I wanted a very long ribbing that gives this really nice detail at the end, and because I'm making the ribbing of the body very long as well, I wanted it very long. So it's 30 rows of this, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna recognize which one's the purl stitch. The purl is the one that has the little loop on the top, and you're gonna just make right on top of each other. So if you have a knitted stitch, you're making knitting. If you have a purl stitch, which is this one, you make a purl. I can show you here. So this is easier to see. This is the knitted stitch, and this is the purl stitch. It has kind of stays underneath, so you can't really see, and that's why the ribbing is elastic like this. Oh, the colors are so beautiful. Really love this yarn. So keep making this row until you have the desired size you want for you. Now I made here my 30 rows. Just make sure they are both the same length on both sides. And the way you count it is you count the little V's here from where, see here, there's 2 stitches made together here. So I'm gonna count from the next row, which is this one that kind of comes out a bit more than the others. And every little V of these ones is a row, okay? So that's how I count it. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I have 30 of them. Now I'm going to, because I reached that stitch there, it's this one right here. Okay, so this is the last one I'm making. You can see because you put the marker in there. And now I'm going to make just a knitted row to finish it off, to cast it off. So make a knit, stitch, put that needle right inside the other stitch and pull it on top of the other. Make another one. Make sure it's not too tight. It's just a good loop like this. And keep making it until you have no stitch left. So repeat all around, and then I'm gonna show you how I finish here. And the last stitch, I'm gonna make it, make sure you don't stretch it too much. I'm gonna make it, then pull it on top. There you go. Then I normally grab a little crochet needle to do that. Put it through the first one, the 2 loops. Then we're gonna pull it inside here. This way. Cut this yarn and just put it through that loop and close it. And then here you're just gonna hide it on the back. For this sweater, I'm making 2 panels like this. And when I finish the panel, I'm gonna show you how I do, but I cast off straight on the circular needles. So I can make this ribbing here. And so to make the panel, it's gonna go all the way from the front to the back. So I need double the number of rows to go all the way to the other side. And I'm casting on with some waste yarn. For a medium size, I'm casting on 35 stitches. So I'm gonna put the waste yarn here and I'm gonna cast on 35 stitches. This 35. So in case you ask yourself, I always put on the patterns that I'm using the tube mode of the machine instead of the panel mode. And the reason why is because I can work from peg number 1 all the way to the 35, and that way I know how many stitches I have. So I don't really use the panel mode because you don't really need to. Once you know where to start and stop, you don't really need to. So starting the first row here, I'm making 4 rows with the waste yarn. Okay. I'll be soon making a full course of how to work with panels in case you have problems with panels. And I'm gonna be posting on my knittingmachinepatterns.com. If you guys are having problems with panels, I think it's a good course to start with. Okay, so remove that. I made 4 rows with the waste yarn, and then put your counter bag to 0. And then let's put this yarn here, right before the first bag. We'll be making 160 rows like this, okay? Leave a little bit of a tail there. Always look from the top to see if all the stitches are getting made. Now, after we finished with 160 rows, we just remove the yarn from the yarn guide and make a full row without the yarn. I'm going to remove with the same needle that I used for the other one. Okay, make sure they're facing the same way, which is both back parts together, which is the purl side of it. And then just remove this way. So this way, 2 of the sides are already inside the circular needle, because we are going to make a long ribbing. So just remove this way. I found out that's the easiest way from the bottom to the top, because it's a little hard to put this needle through. It's a little thick most of the time. So. And just remove all the stitches. And when you remove it, you have both sides facing the same way. And now all we have to do is put the needle through this side and also the other side as well. So they are all in needles. We are going to join them like this. Let me see the other side. Yeah. We're gonna join them like this. So we are gonna seam with the mattress stitch on this side, and on this side all the way to where your sleeve has to go. So we're gonna use a marker to mark where the sleeves are going. But before I put the sleeves, I'm going to finish the bottom of it, because that way the sweater is not too heavy, you know, to make all the ribbing. So what I'm doing first is I'm going to put the needles through these stitches here. Now I have to make sure I grab all the stitches and not the waste yarn, which is this dark color here. And from here, then we are going to start slipping through all the stitches onto the same needle this way. Make sure you grab all the stitches in that same row. So I'm gonna do that there, and then I'm going to remove this waste yarn here. And then after this, you can probably go the same way on the other one. And I left this tail this tail connected from the last one, so I can straight away start the ribbing with this same tail. These are my 2 panels facing each other. It's just folded in half, because I wanted this to go right kind of underneath the breast and then make a long ribbing, same as the ribbing of the sleeves that is very long. What I'm going to do is with these 2 tails, I could actually have left one of them longer so I could seam it this way, because I'm not gonna seam it very long. Like on the front, I want a very big V-neck, so I'm gonna kind of, I think I'm gonna do just like this, short. So I'm gonna mattress stitch this way to join them together, and then after making the mattress stitch, I'm going to be making the ribbing. So to make this stitching, I don't think this tail is long enough, so I'll have to put another one through. Just kind of hide them all later. Just a little knot, just like this. Then we're gonna be working in the front of the work. So this is my V-neck. I'm just gonna make it short, okay? Because I put on that side, we are going to grab this first 2 stitches here on the other side, and just this middle here. I'm gonna make each 2, and then I'm gonna grab here the same 2 stitches. So I'm gonna be doing that all the way to here. You can place a marker if you want. I want a long V-neck. I'm not gonna make it very much more, so I'm gonna finish right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna do that same thing on the back, and here you have to place a marker for the sleeves, because we're not gonna put the sleeves right now. We're gonna finish the ribbon first. Now here we're going to place the sleeves. Make sure you always stretch a little bit. I always stretch them a little bit, so it's not too tight to put your arms through the space. And then this one I've already made all the way to where the arm goes, the sleeve goes. And the other one I'm just gonna place a marker right in the same spot, and then I'm gonna seam all the way to where the marker is. Okay, just seam all the way to here, and then we're gonna start the ribbing on the bottom after this. Okay, now I seamed them all the sides, and here. What I was gonna say is that on the back, if you don't want the V so long, I was thinking you could probably, just seam all the way to here, and then just make very short on the back. I'm gonna start the ribbing now. And because I'm already decreasing, I'm gonna decrease 4 stitches on every place where I had to use the mattress stitch, like this one. As you can see, there are a few of the first stitches on the back, so I'm gonna make 2 together in the beginning to hide this one here, and 2 together at the end here. So, yeah, I'm just gonna try and make this way here, both together. So see, I'm gonna then hide the one that's not showing here. I'm gonna hide to the rest of them, and I'm gonna make, because of these stitches, I'm gonna make a full row, a full knitted row, as well as because to make the purl stitch, I actually have to remove this stitch and put it back this way. I'm just gonna make a full row of knitting, and then after that I'm gonna start the ribbing. I actually decided to decrease 2 extra stitches on each panel, so I'm gonna be decreasing 1 here and one here because of the mattress stitch joining, so it's more seamless. And I'm gonna be decreasing 2 in each panel, so make like 17 or 15 stitches, and then just make 2 together this way, and then just before, like around here somewhere, make another 2 together. It's kind of random, it doesn't make much difference because you can't really tell at the end. As we did before, just place a marker where you started so you know every time you're starting a new row. And then here I just already made the 2 together at the end as well. And then now here I'm going to start making 1 knitted stitch and 1 purl. I want this very tight on the waist. Let's see how we go. This is the first time I'm making this design, and I want it to be much tighter here. And this is the reason why I changed first to a smaller needle. It could even be a 4, but I don't have a 4. I think this is a 4.5. So I'm gonna make a ribbon that's gonna be longer than the sleeves. These are the sleeves, like palm of a hand. These are the sleeves, so I'm gonna make it longer. So probably around 40 rows of this. And then I'll make ribbing here as well for the neck, okay? Now I have made here around 50 rows, and that's because I want it to be longer and not, you know, short on my waist. And now I'm just gonna cast off same way I did before on the wrist, and that's making just knitted stitches. So right after I finished the ribbon, I made a very long one. It has 50 rows again, because I wanted very long to cover the whole belly. And now we're gonna start making the neck. So I have to fully remake this neck one time, and that's because I got too many not enough stitches here, and was kind of a bit too small. So I also started from the middle here. I advise you to start from the shoulder, just because you have to decrease stitches here in the middle. On each side where you have the V, we're gonna decrease 2 stitches in every row. So just start it anywhere in one of the shoulders. And after I made this knot, what I'm going to do is on this very next stitch here, I'm gonna pull my needle through and just grab the yarn like this. Okay, so I'm gonna be making loops. I'm gonna skip one, and on the next one I'm gonna make another one, and then on the very next one, one. So I'm going to skip every 2. Now I'm skipping one, and on the next one, not skipping now, and I'm going to skip here. So here I'm going to grab this very last one on the side, and then I'm just gonna pull it through here in between both panels and pick this one that's gonna be right in the middle. It's very important to have this stitch in the middle, because that's where you're gonna make decrease and increase. And then you can skip one after and just make one. And repeat this all the way until you are. Make sure you grab this stitch in the middle here as well and repeat all around it. After you picked up all the stitches, we're going to work a full row of ribbing, same ribbing you made before, okay? So repeating this all the way, making sure this stitch right in the middle on the front and on the back is a knitted stitch, okay? This has to be a knitted stitch because we are going to use this knitted stitch to put it on in front of both of these when we are decreasing, okay? So if you don't have a knitted stitch there, what you can do is just pull another stitch in the middle like this just before. Pull another loop and make another loop just before you reach the middle one. And we're gonna be making around 8 rows of this, like this wide. And then just finish with the sleeves after this. I made one row here already, and I'm on a kind of on the second row now. And so we're gonna decrease one stitch here and one stitch here, and to do that we are going to make 3 together. We'll be making 3 together right in this middle stitch that's right on top of where we join the panels together. And to do that, what we're going to do is very simple. We are going to remove these 2 stitches this way out of here. And then we'll be making the next one, even if it's a knit stitch or a purl stitch, just do as it is. And then we're gonna grab these 2 stitches again and pull it on the top of that one. So this way we're gonna have a stitches going up in the middle, just like this. And it looks really nice at the end, actually. And then all the rest we are just gonna knit and purl. I'll be doing that for around 8 rows, I'm thinking, until I like the size of this neck ribbing, okay? I'm gonna repeat this in both of the V's. As you can see, I have it here as well, on the back and on the front.